The US elections are currently less than 2 weeks away. Now, obviously, the election is between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. Now, don't get this wrong, this is going to be a close election. For sure, going to be a close election. So it's going to be very interesting to see what will happen in 2 weeks from now. It is now confirmed that Donald Trump will go on the Joe Rogan podcast. Now, this is a pretty huge deal, as he is the biggest podcaster in the world with millions of listeners. Now, we have not got confirmation yet if Kamala Harris will go on the podcast or not. Like, if she is not going on it, my guess would be that it's she that decided she didn't want to go on it. But in my opinion, she really should, as the people deserve to know, get a good, long format interview with both the candidates so they can get to know them better and who they want to choose. The podcast is happening tomorrow on Friday, so I will definitely watch that myself. I'm sure it will be very interesting. And like I said, I hope Camilla reconsiders and will go on it later as well. Now, as I said, this is going to be a close election. Here are the latest polls that you can see. The two latest ones has Trump up, and there's one with Harris up. And as you can see, it is very close. So this will definitely be a close election and interesting to watch. Now, from everything that I have seen, my opinion is probably Trump is going to win this. And I will show you on this map how I think that will happen. But first I would just like to mention that the poll on the polling market, bets on polling markets and stuff like that, everyone has Trump up by sometimes 60%, there's 60% chance that he will win on those betting markets. And that you could say that is a good indication of that maybe he will win, since those are constantly updated, and it is more like a wisdom of the crowd. People are betting actual money on who will win. Yeah. Now, there are of course arguments to why that is not so a good indication of who will win, as it is possible to manipulate this. You don't have to wait until the election. You can take money in and out. So you can, for example, manipulate it by taking a lot of money suddenly on Trump, and then when election time comes and Trump is up a lot, then you take out all the money, and then he goes down to where it's supposed to be. So it is possible to manipulate it like that. But when it's so much money on so many different people that have bought into this, my opinion of that is that situation is very unlikely. This is probably more of a wisdom of a crowd, because I would probably agree with that. Trump probably has a 60 to 70% chance of winning this. Now I would like to show you how this will work. So here, as you can see here, here are the states that are pretty much guaranteed to go to each of the candidates. So of course, California is obviously going to the Democrat, to Harris. Texas is obviously going to the Republicans, to Trump, and so on, to the states. Now, the states that we are not sure what will happen, the states that are very close in the polls, so that we don't know exactly who will win it, or it's so close that we don't know which is more likely. Now, my opinion of what is probably going to happen is that Georgia last time went barely for Biden. My guess is this time it will go barely for Trump. So I'm going to put that as a lean Trump. The same here. It's probably going to be lean Trump. Now, in Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, these are the three most important states in all the last elections. Those who win these states normally win the whole election. That's how it has been the last few years. So in Wisconsin, it's a more white state, more white people there, and those normally do better with Trump, white working class people. And my guess is this is probably going to go to Republicans, to Trump. And then we have, and also it has something to do with that Trump is doing better now with black men than he has done in the last few elections. So this time, the Democrats has always had like a 80 to 90% voting rate from black people, but this time it has gone way down and Trump is way up in black people. So that is also a big deal in these states. Now Michigan is probably gonna go to Harris. So I'm gonna put this as a lean Harris. It's a more diverse state. It's probably gonna go to Harris. Pennsylvania is difficult. Now, but as you can see here, Trump just needs 12 more electoral votes to go to the White House. So he just needs one of these two states to win. Now, my opinion is Pennsylvania is probably the most toss-up state, that we don't know exactly who is going to win there. And North Carolina. I'm probably going to put this as lean Republican, which means that Trump will win. Now, for fun, we can put here as lean Democrat. And he needs 9 more to win. Now, my opinion here is probably Trump is also going to win Pennsylvania. And it has been a growing Republican in both these states, in Arizona and Nevada. So probably Trump is going to barely win these states as well. And that puts Trump up to 297, which is way above the 270 he needs to win. So this is my prediction of how it's probably going to go. Now let's hope it will be just a few days, or hopefully one day, for them to count all the votes, because last time it was crazy bananas where they used like weeks to find the winner, which is like one of the reasons Trump went crazy on that. You know. So because of the new rules after 2020, now in the elections in America, there is more like, now it's not voting day, now it's more like a voting month. Like, people have been able to vote now for this whole month, really. So whole of October, people are able to vote in most places in America. Early voting. And for now, normally Democrats have always had these past few years that we have had this, Democrats always dominate in the early votes. And if we look compared last time and this time on the early votes, the Democrats are down compared to 2020. So that is also a sign that the Republicans are going to win this time. But like I said before, this will be a close election. And I can 100% be wrong about my prediction here, but this is my best guess from the information I have right now. It is the 24th of October today, so it is a little less than 2 weeks away from the election. So we'll see in 2 weeks if I'm right or wrong. Now, this is definitely a big election for America, so if you are an American, then definitely go out there and cast your vote. This is a big election that will probably decide a lot of stuff in the future. A big election of the way in which America is choosing to go. And it will obviously have a big impact on the world as a whole as well, as what happens in America normally happens a lot of other places, especially in Europe, like a few months or years later. So this is definitely a big deal for all the world, since America is a big player, the biggest player really in the world. So you let me know, you dear viewer, what do you think about this prediction? Is it wrong? Is it false? Is it completely correct? Is it completely wrong? Tell me how it's wrong. Which states will instead go for Harris to make this wrong? If, for example, Harris wins Pennsylvania and Wisconsin, she wins. This is why these 3 states are the most important. Now, even if we put this for Wisconsin, which is the most likely out of the 3 to go for Trump, and we say, for example, that she wins Arizona, which is also not out of the question at all, then also she wins. So there are a lot of ways that she can win this still. But the one she needs the most is Michigan, which I think she probably is gonna win. But she definitely needs a few more states than what I think. So, what's your opinion? What do you think? Leave me a comment. Leave me a like. Follow, subscribe, do whatever you want if it's interesting. If it's not, then don't. So, that's it. Bye bye. Have a nice day.